Tonight against this man, Napoleon Pitt. McCracken aims to be a world champion. He's got to get a move on. We've been waiting for a long time for it to happen. Still trying to impress in America. Back to Glenn.
He weighed in at a fit, fighting and ready 163 pounds. His professional record an unblemished, perfect 31-0 with 19 KOs. And he comes to us from Birmingham, England. Please welcome Robert McCracken.
Well, Robert McCracken has been waiting around a long time to get a world title opportunity. He's a talented boxer now based in Las Vegas, though, of course, much better known in Birmingham.
All right, let's touch gloves. Have a good, clean fight.
Excuse me.
Yes, McCracken, a good boxer, good fighter. Really ready for his shot at a world title. In here against Napoleon Pitt.
30-year-old Robert McCracken. Now they've got that glass of water to go down the right way. Napoleon Pitt, the 33-year-old from Richmond, Virginia, who had a terrific battle with David Telesco at Madison Square Garden on the Hamid Kelly undercard last December.
Yes, he's a decent fighter. Telesco was stopped on the Briggs-Lewis show by Chris Johnson in one round, but he can put up a tough performance. So McCracken will be looking for some good work here. It's a while since his last fight. That was a points win over Lonnie Beasley back in February, so he could just be a little ring rusty.
He's just gone a bit quiet, McCracken, of late. He trains in the Nevada Partners Gym, which is run by the famous referee Richard Steele, which is where McCulloch has been doing all his training for the Nassim Hamed fight. McCracken's 30 now.
Good work behind the jab, just traveling it up, and then a right hand, just putting Pitt on the back foot.
Seems troubled. The splendidly named Napoleon Pitt. Pretty classy operator, McCracken.
Hey, you better get busy, Napoleon. That's work.
Probably in American terms, a pretty well-kept secret in this division.
Yes, he is. He started well, using that long, raking jab to good effect. That's giving Pitt all sorts of problems.
This is impressive. He's mixing it up, using the jab to open all kinds of opportunities. And Pitt being made to look wild, the man from Richmond, Virginia. Very proud fighter, Napoleon Pitt, but at the moment, just being outclassed and outboxed by the silky McCracken, who's picking the shots cleverly. The fellow that McCracken is waiting for is the WBC middleweight champion Hassan Sharifi. We've seen him in Britain in the past. I'd give McCracken a big chance with him, wouldn't you?
Yes, I'd give him an excellent chance there, but first of all, he needs to get this one out of the way and look good in doing so.
He's catching Pitt with some very good shots in that opening round. He really did give him an old-fashioned look, Pitt, as if to say, I took a bit of a shellacking there, didn't I? He did too, didn't he?
Yeah, he was right. He was right about that. He just couldn't get into the round at all. McCracken's jab worked excellently well, and it was very rarely out of the face of Napoleon Pitt.
McCracken, former British light middleweight champion. He won a Lonsdale belt to keep. Andy Till, Steve Foster and Paul Wesley. Lucky win that one, I thought. Then he relinquished the title, became Commonwealth middleweight champion. Defended that too. So he deserves a world title opportunity.
Yes, as they say in the treaty, and he's paid his dues. You know, he's about ready for a good shot.
This fight's been cut down to 6 rounds. Birmingham's Robert McCracken in the white trunks. The black of the American Napoleon Pitt, who, when he's not fighting, earns his money as a landscape gardener.
Hey, Paul, let's go. Time to work, man. Come on, 2 and 3 now, Paul. Left, right. Left, right.
McCracken working the jab so well. I think that's a good ploy. He's got the center of the ring. He's got Pitt going backwards. Just got to keep picking Pitt apart with the jab and then gradually bring in the other shots.
Typical European style of McCracken, but he does it well. Stand up, very effective use of the jab. He looks a bit unsteady on his legs over there, Pitt, for a moment.
Yes, he doesn't look too comfortable in there. His movements are very jerky, finding his footwork unbalanced.
I think Pitt's happiest when he can have a bit of a tear-up with somebody. He doesn't like a fighter of quality like McCracken just standing there in front of him and picking him apart with jabs like this.
Yes, he doesn't know what to do when the long jab is in his face. He doesn't have a great defense and not picking these shots away. The wild overhand right, but McCracken too much boxing ability and too good of a defense to be caught by that one.
McCracken, one of those really good solid throws, and that was a solid right hand. He got up quickly, probably too quickly. A smashing shot, that.
Well, he did that so well. He did that so well. In double left hook to the body and then a right hand over the top. You know, he was expecting maybe another body shot. The right hand was right there. Excellent work from McCracken.
Got him again. Another right hand. Pitt being totally outclassed here. And McCracken, 31 fights, 31 wins. You feel sure now is about to add another one. Again, the legs just seem to give way of Pitt.
And his legs really are all over the place. I think he just has to keep his cool, pick the shots, McCracken.
Napoleon certainly is in retreat here. Head shots, body shots. It's a consummately professional performance by McCracken. The golf in class is almost embarrassing out there.
Yes, it is. He's just so much better. His styling is very good. You know, he just has that much more technical ability, and really Pitt just can't deal with anybody like that. We saw him in good fights. The one with David Telesco was an excellent, but it was a brawl. This is something very different.
I mean, your overhand right, you ain't throwing them in front of you. You just throwing it down upper, you're down overhand right. You too, Jay, out, right?
Look at that shot. He just picked that beautifully, didn't he, on the counter?
Yes, that was absolute textbook. But just before that, it was 2 excellent left hooks, which just made Pitt think of something else, and then he was wide open for that right hand.
Also, give me a thanks.
McCracken's been a professional for 7 years now. He's had injuries and other kinds of problems that have just prevented him getting a world title opportunity when lesser fighters have been projected forward much faster.
Well, it may work out the right way, because when he gets there, he's going to be a much better prepared fighter. So he could be around a lot longer.
Well, Pitt is bravely taking all of this and trying to think of a way into the contest somehow. But there doesn't seem to be any way. Unable to land a punch. There's another really slick counter with the left hand from McCracken.
The boxing's so good, both in attack and defense. Pitt really just doesn't know what he's got to do to get anywhere near McCracken.
Well, McCracken is trained by Eddie Futch's old sidekick, Thel Torrance. He's clearly doing a pretty fair job with McCracken, who looks full of confidence in this kind of mood and form. I just wonder, is this coming up to his time? I mean, obviously here he's in with journeyman opposition, so we have to take that into account, but he looks sharp, doesn't he?
He looks very sharp. He's doing everything right. Defense is very good, just picking off the long jabs just with the inside of his gloves, just parrying them, and then quick with counters. But the jab's been excellent, and Pitt doesn't know what to do.
Referee, I think, is getting to the point where he may have to think about calling a hold. He's still willing enough, Napoleon Pitt, but it's becoming a bit systematic, this, isn't it?
Well, he's just all over Pitt. Every shot is landing. Pitt just can't land anything on McCracken. Pitt really does have very bad balance. He's all over the place, even with jabs.
McCracken boxing carefully too in defence. He's mindful of the fact that Pitt is just looking to get lucky with the odd wild haymaker. He's winning it easily at the moment, McCracken. Winning it, pulling away. It's a boxing lesson that he's handing out here to Napoleon Pitt.
You're trying too hard in that big shot, okay? Trying too hard. Just find the guy, get him back under control, okay? Yeah. Don't load up on those big shots. Just get a little close, make it a little smoother. Slide over, cut the guy off, okay? Yeah. Now, when you're landing your shots, you're stepping too far away from him. You heard me, you're stepping out here, you get him off, you gotta work back. Yeah. When you land a shot, stay there so you can take advantage of it. Okay?
One more inch.
Okay. You understand, Robert? Two basic thing you want to do. When you land the shot, just step back far enough, you know, so you can take your counter shot. Okay? Don't jump too far away. You're taking 2 or 3 steps back. Okay. It's just these simple basic things I want you to do. Get a little closer. When you land a shot to the body, start putting your right hand to the body, okay? Okay. Okay?
There we are, free coaching session from Thel Torrance for you at home. Thought I'd let you hear all that. That's what he's telling McCracken, but it can only be fine-tuning.
Yes, he's not doing a great deal wrong. I suppose there's always something better you can do. But some decent advice there, just maybe just stepping out a little too far when he lands with a good punch.
This is the one-sided scorecard.
That's everything for McCracken with that big round in the second, the 10-8 round. So not doing very much wrong at this point. Another very good right hand. Just picked the jab off with his own right and then just put it straight into a punch.
Head, body, doing what he wants, really. McCracken, not known as a huge puncher. 19 of those 31 victories have come inside schedule. Not having as many alarms here as he had recently when his car was stopped by police by mistake, I hasten to add, in Las Vegas, and he was held with a gun to his head by the local police in Las Vegas. So it was a very worrying moment. I thought he was somebody else entirely. But he was a drug dealer or something, I guess. It was all sorted out in the end. So I think that gym they work from in Vegas is in a bit of a dodgy area.
I think it must be, mustn't it?
Well, you went there, didn't you?
Again, another good right hand from McCracken. He's really boxing very, very well, and I think, you know, Pitt lacks a lot technically, and really McCracken showing him up for that.
Seems some damage by the left eye of Pitt. It looks to be closing up. He's trying with his own jab there. Well, I feel for Napoleon Pitt in here, because he's trying very, very hard, but there's nothing he can do, because it's just fighters from, well, not so much different divisions, it's different planets almost in terms of class, isn't it? And I just wonder whether he has to take much more of this.
Well, he's proud in his game, you know, but really he just hasn't got the technical ability, and he's just getting a systematic beating. And I think really his corner or the referee is just getting that point where they could say, well, you know, it doesn't look a chance that he's going to win. Why take more punishment and get him out of there?
I think it's just those different views we have in America and Britain. Good right hand on the bell. Some British referees, I think, if this was on the undercard in Britain, would have stepped in and stopped this and said, it's too one-sided, no point in him taking any more, he can't win.
Yes, I think they would, and also, you know, you've got to look at his corner. You've got to think they know their man best of all. Do they think he's really got the capabilities to beat somebody like McCracken? And if they don't think he's got another gear or he's got something, a big punch, they've got to get him out.
Come here. Now spit that water out. Spit out. Okay.
So what do you say to a fighter who's being outclassed?
Hold it. Hold it. Two or three jabs. Okay.
Not too much, apparently.
Get on first, baby. Get on first.
You saw the difference in the corners there, the clear, precise instructions. There wasn't that in Pitt's corner.
Maybe they ran out of ideas too.
It certainly looks that way.
I'm not sure what I'd say, are you?
Well, I think if he was my fighter, I'd say, listen, you know, I'm pulling you out. You know, you're not going to win this.
And then you'd put down the phone. So McCracken continuing to dominate. McCracken in the white trunks, the Birmingham fight. He's got a big following in Birmingham. All the Birmingham City crowd, Robert McCracken fans, and of course he's a huge supporter of the club himself. It's the blue and white colours. Ooh, took a right hand there. Caught for the first time, McCracken. Well, that might give Pitt some encouragement.
Well, what it should do is tell McCracken, you know, you've stood back long enough, you've been careful, maybe it's time just to up the work rate, look to try and get him out of there, because even though he hasn't got a lot, anybody can still be dangerous if they can throw a punch. Again, I think this is where his trainer said, just stand, start throwing punches. Had to take another one, but I think that's because he's coming out and he's getting into the range where he can be hit.
Let's work. Come on.
Pitt's corner were screaming at him to get off the ropes. Again he goes for the jackpot with a wild right hand. He's had a little bit of success in this round, maybe a little worryingly for McCracken. He's just got a nick, I've noticed, underneath the left eye. It's nothing at all to worry about. This is definitely Pitt's best round.
Well, McCracken mainly maybe just losing a bit of concentration here. He's kept him at long range and then maybe just stopping to think, what should I do next? But he's been caught a couple of times in this round.
Ooh, disorientated a little by that left hand, Pitt. Just gave a little nod, didn't he, to McCracken there. Oh, that's another good-looking shot. Sharp stuff from McCracken. Very, very neat and stylish operator, McCracken. Possibly just lacks a little bit in terms of marquee value and excitement, which is maybe something that's held him back.
Yes, maybe he needs more devil in his work. And I think when he moves to world class, he's going to have to show that, because he's been careful this round. Just stood off and allowed Pitt to catch him with a couple of blows.
But I think McCracken still won the round, didn't he?
Oh, no doubt. He did much more, and much sharper work came from McCracken. But, you know, it's always, all of a sudden, he was caught with a couple of punches.
Coming up to the 6th and last round then. And while Napoleon Pitt so far behind, he definitely needs the knockout. And so far behind, he needs about 4 knockouts.
Well, he definitely needs a knockout. He really has never been in this fight at all. McCracken just dominated behind the jab, the good boxing ability. He's having to take a little clip there, but nothing really to worry about. There's that jab. That has worked so well throughout this fight.
McCracken's done this pretty well, really, because it is a mark time fight for him. He must be sick to death at this stage of his career. These kind of fights, he wants the big ones. He must get into the big ones pretty soon. Right trunks in of Robert McCracken, miles in front here, the Birmingham middleweight, and set to extend his unbeaten record and do his world title chances no harm at all if he can get Hassan Sharifi into the ring. Here's the scorecard.
McCracken winning absolutely everything. 50-45 as I have it at this point.
Oh, got him again. Another very slick shot from McCracken. Napoleon Pitt down for the second time. Mandatory 8 count. Can McCracken force the stoppage late on here? This bout has been cut to 6 rounds. Napoleon Pitt, I think, will be mighty glad of that.
Well, he's been tough and he's been game, but he's had to take an awful lot in this fight, Pitt.
I think only the ropes kept him up there, you know. There was an argument there for saying that should have been another count.
Well, he's all over the place. And really, I think the referee's got to keep close to the action here, ready to step in.
As he looks ready to go, he looks like a tree, doesn't he? Tottering around in the gale.
The eye has swollen up, that a lot of damage. He'd be struggling to see through that now.
Very, very one-sided. The legs have gone of Napoleon Pitt, and the referee's got to think very carefully about this. Look at this, he's so game. He's so game, but there comes a point where brave fighters have to be saved from themselves.
Well, for me, the referee should have been in. He is trying to fight back, but he's really out of it. He's having to take punches he shouldn't really have to take. There's really nowhere for him in this fight.
Look at this here, double jab, and this time he has stopped it belatedly.
That's it, man. Come on, that's it. You had a good fight.
Really,
I don't take more beat.
All right,
now, yeah. I know. That's it. Come on.
It is stopped by referee Eddie Clapton at last in the 6th round. And Robert McCracken scores his 20th stoppage victory, 32 out of 32 in all. And he waits and waits for a shot at the WBC middleweight title held by Hassan Sharifi, the Frenchman.
Yes, impressive work from McCracken. Did everything right. And really, Pitt was never in with it right from the start. It's a bad eye damage he has there.
Well, when you see that close up, it certainly should have been stopped, because he'd had that for a round or two.
Yep, I thought, you know, this is the knockdown. Went down heavily there. He got up and he tried to fight back, but he was out of it from after that, and he had to take so many more heavy punches. It was once or twice I thought that the referee wavered as if he was thinking about it, and I don't think you can have that thought or that indifference. You've got to get in. If a fighter's taking shots, you can't think about it. Don't let somebody get hurt.
too soon is better than too late, isn't it?
Very much so. And I mean, you know, the guy never looked dangerous, never looked a threat to McCracken. I mean, there was probably 2 or 3 scoring punches in the whole fight for Pitt. So, I mean, really, the first opportunity or the first excuse they give the referee to get him out of there, he should have.
It was a mismatch.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Eddie Cotton calls a halt to the bout. It goes into the record books as a TKO, 2 minutes, 25 seconds of the 6th and final round. The winner, his record now goes to 32-0 with 20 KOs, Robert McCracken.
Robert McCracken took himself off to the United States to try to make his career happen after one frustration after another in Europe and even in Britain, indeed. And yet he's still waiting for that